Hi everyone, welcome to the Feeling Good Therapist, where we'll learn different skills and tools as a therapist or just in your personal life. And today we have Angela Poch, who will be helping us learn more about explaining the distortions.
Thanks for having me, Richard. So explain the distortions is one of my favorite tools. And we do it right after, or you can do it during identify the distortions. And so today we're going to do a role play where Richard's going to play a father who's feeling really down and overwhelmed working at home. And so with that, I think we'll jump in. And I think the negative thought we're going to choose to work on is I'm a bad father.
Okay.
So, Richard, can you tell me, do you see any distortions in that thought, I'm a bad father?
Yeah, I guess that's kind of like, to look at that, it looks like all or nothing thinking.
Yeah, I agree. It's got some all or nothing. Can you tell me why it'd be an example of all or nothing thinking?
Well, it's kind of like the absolute either I'm like good or bad. There's not like a in between, I guess.
Yeah, it's kind of like one or the other and not having that scale. Well, why would that be a thinking error? Why is all or nothing a thinking error?
Well, I guess it's kind of unfair to say it's like one or the other. There's usually kind of like the in between that kind of makes more sense for the majority of people in the world.
Yeah, I think you're onto something there, having this balance. Well, why would that be self-defeating to have this all or nothing view?
Well, I guess if I kind of see it as this all or nothing kind of thing, it kind of makes me feel like horrible about myself when there might be actually some good things that I'm doing as well.
Yeah, and kind of end up in a loop if you're always just looking at one extreme side for sure. Um, well, with that in mind, I know we only touched on one distortion. Let's actually look at a couple more. Did you see any other distortions in that thought that
Maybe there's this mental filter.
mental filter? Sure. Tell me, why would this be an example of mental filter?
Well, I think with mental filter, I'm dwelling on and like all the negative things that I've been doing. Like I got upset with my kids because I was really stressed and maybe raised my voice. But there are other good things that I've done. Like, of course, I kind of talk to them about it and apologize. But not only that, but I do a lot of fun things with them, and they even say that I'm a really great dad.
Yeah. Um, Getting some of those down because I got some great stuff there. So it's where you only seen the one, but you actually can see some times where you have done things well, where you've done fun things with your kids and things like that. Well, why is that mental filter a thinking error? And I think kind of touched on it with some of what you said, but tell me a little
Yeah.
bit more.
I'm just like so focused on the bad things that I've done, but I really discount like all the good things that I've been doing as well, or not even considering them.
Yeah. And when you're not considering them, why would that be self-defeating?
I guess that's kind of self-defeating because it's just makes me feel bad because I'm just so focused on this negative way of viewing myself rather than the whole picture.
Yeah, that when you're just focusing on that bad makes you feel bad. And also, can you imagine if you've got this mental filter on, would it be self-defeating because it's also no matter what good you do, it just gets filtered out?
Yeah, exactly. Like I never look at all the good things that I do and just kind of focus on the bad.
Yeah. Well, let's do one more before we try to come up with a positive thought. Any other what other distortion stands out to you in this negative thought that, I'm a bad father?
You know, maybe the magnification.
I see magnification there too. Can you tell me why you see it there? What would be an
Well,
example? Why is it an example of magnification?
I guess I might be kind of blowing this out of proportion a little bit here, where just because I got really upset one time, I kind of jump to the conclusion that I'm a bad father, rather than kind of look at the big picture of things. And at the end of the day, it's just kind of like one little thing, and I'm sure a lot of parents get upset and raise their voice with their kids.
Yeah, I know I have as a parent for sure. Why would that be a thinking error to magnify things?
Well, it's probably a thinking error because it's not the right like magnitude of how to view things, and by kind of magnifying things out of proportion just kind of makes me feel worse than the actual like thing that I can face.
Mm. And why would that be self-defeating?
Um, well, I guess it kind of makes it more challenging for me, and kind of demotivates me from wanting to like do more, and I just feel horrible the rest of the day, and I can't focus, and nothing just goes right after that.
Mm. Yeah, makes it really hard to focus if you're feeling worse and worse. And if it's magnifying and magnifying, then it's hard to see it for what it is. Yeah. Well, you've said some really great things here. You talked about how, you're only focusing on the bad things. You're not considering some of the other things you do for your kids, lots of fun things, and that you're not quite the right magnitude, and mentioned quite a few other little things. What might be a more helpful, realistic thought to tell yourself instead of "I'm a bad father"? What might be a nicer way to say that to yourself?
Maybe I'm a father that sometimes makes mistakes, but is always growing and improving and cares a lot about his kids.
I like that. How much do you believe that thought?
Oh, definitely 100%.
And how much do you believe the thought that I'm a bad father?
Well, I guess it's not really true. Maybe like 5%, because I mean,
Maybe
there's
5%.
always improvements I can make.
Yeah, I like that. There's always room for improvement for sure. Um, yeah,
Great.
how
Let's
was
pause
that?
right there. Thank you, Angela. You did such a beautiful explanation of explaining the distortions. And if anyone wants to learn more about different tools and techniques, feel free to subscribe. If you want to learn more about Angela, you can look at the description below.